So recently I just finished watching this anime called Monster, and boy did Monster make my head hurt. I decided to get a nice switch, change of pace, and then I remembered a couple months back I watched this anime with my friends, and you're watching the video, you saw the title. Today we're talking about Dororo. So right off the bat, Dororo takes place during a time of war, famine, plague, and demons. You can't forget the demons. They're kinda important to the story. This period is based off the Sengoku Jidai era of Japan, also known as the Roaring States era. During this time, a samurai lord by the name of Daigyo Kagemitsu makes a pact with 12 demons to bring his land to prosperity. He offers up anything in exchange. Later his son is born and we come to see what the demons have taken, while also being introduced to the protagonist of the story. Hyakimaru. Hyakimaru is a boy born without limbs, eyes, nose, or even skin. You name it, he don't got it. I mean, look at him, he's basically a floating head. Right after he's born, Hyakimaru was taken from his mother and placed into a river, basically left to die, all because his dad wanted to sacrifice him on some Griffith, Itachi, Lodi Orochimaru, I want your body type shit. Fortunately for us, he survives and he's given prosthetic, basically everything, but it works out now because the boy got swords for arms. Shit looks dope. We follow his journey to become whole and regain his body back. Each demon he kills, he either regains another part of his body or one of his senses. And we come to find out that even though he's reclaiming what's rightfully his, it still comes with a price. So I really enjoyed watching this anime. It meets a lot of my requirements. It has a great but simple story, interesting characters, solid animation, and the fights are pretty entertaining too. And also the first opening cranks. I would suggest this anime to people that are new to anime or even veteran anime watchers. The story is accessible and comprehensible to the point where it's easy to get into and easy enough to understand, but that takes nothing away from the story. It's still enjoyable. First time anime viewers may find it a little bit gory, but I didn't mind and even came to like it, especially with how much is being censored in anime nowadays. Just a couple years ago, Jotaro smoking was censored just because he's 17, and if anybody knows 17-year-olds nowadays, they're definitely doing worse than just smoking. This show has a really good cast of characters. All the characters are relatable and their viewpoints and perspectives are understandable. I mean, even this deadbeat right here, I mean, he's kind of understandable, right? There were times in the show where I thought characters would never be able to redeem themselves, just for episodes later my thoughts and views on them to completely change. The show does a really good job of making you know where characters are coming from. One thing people may be put off by is the presence of the character Dororo, but I feel Dororo was handled rather well. There's a nice balance between comic relief and the character that you can take seriously and feel for. And also, Dororo is the driving force of the show. Without Dororo, a lot of events in the story won't take place and you're just left with Hyakimaru, and Hyakimaru can't talk or express himself, and that would make for a pretty boring show if it was just him. Dororo is the catalyst to Hyakimaru's growth. Dororo helps transition Hyakimaru from a blank slate to a person that learns how to be expressive and communicate with others. Dororo is the final piece to Hyakimaru finally becoming whole again. Another thing I love about the show is the way it represents its female characters. Time and time again in anime, we have female characters that are just damsels in distress or they're simply underwritten. With Dororo, that's not the case. There were times I thought we'll go that route just for the story to do a complete 180 and make me come to admire the women of the show. All the women are strong and resilient and they never cave into weakness, even with death right at the corner. The animation in this show is really solid. The studios that worked on this did a great job of mixing the OG Osamu Tezuka's slapstick cartoony art style along with something that's more gritty and at times even more detailed. If you guys aren't familiar with Tezuka, he is the OG of anime, even labeled the godfather of anime, mostly known for creating Astro Boy, but his influence on anime and just the animation industry as a whole transcends way past just that. Although there are times where the animation is a little off, you can't really notice it unless you're looking for it, and even if you do, it doesn't take away from the experience at all. The fights in this show are well choreographed and the animation is fluid throughout them. Some highlight instances for me are the final fights of the show, and when you make it to that point, they surely won't disappoint you. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Dororo. Just a short video talking about why I like it and what I think about it. I really enjoyed watching this show, and as I said earlier, I would suggest it to people that are new to anime, that just kind of want to get a feel of what anime is before making the full plunge. And I also would suggest it to people that watch a lot of anime, just because I like the liberties that this show takes in steering away from tropes that you usually see in anime. If you guys like this video, you know what to do. Drop a like, and if you guys like my beautiful face and want to see more of it, subscribe. And if you guys share similar views or thoughts on this show like me, or even different, drop a comment about that. And if there's any anime in particular that you want me to do a video like this similar to, then drop that in the comments as well. But that's my video, and I'm out.